October, first Friday, and we have, I think, a beautiful day today yet, and we're the fortunate ones in that the prescribed Hurricane Matthew is not aligned to hit us as others are, and certainly give our thoughts and prayers to our colleagues in friends and family that are located in some of the southern states, and as we've all been seeing what's happening there, I know it can happen to us as well. So we'll be thankful for our respite from this storm, and hopefully we'll have a beautiful day to enjoy. And I know that many of our staff may be out in the field trying to deal with what was very wet fields, and now being able to move forward with that. So I'm glad for all of you that are joined us this morning. I have a few organizational updates. We're going to do just a few quick minutes on a couple topics, and then we're going to move on to our topic for the day, which is about our urban programming. And Alice, as usual, has been recording this so that we are able to, for those who aren't able to join, be able to watch this later. So good morning and welcome, everyone, for the first Friday in October. I don't know, I think I'm definitely getting older because these months keep flying by faster and faster. And I'm not one of those people who counts the days to the holidays, but they're coming. So let me start with some staffing updates. I just want to let everyone know where we are in terms of our progress with our staffing. First of all, I'm just thankful for the support and approval we have to fill these positions and to move forward with them. Last week, we did the interview process for the position in Newcastle County 4-H position, and that position is in process. So we're in the process of filling that position. And I should mention, we did fill the Kent County 4-H, the 4-H staff assistant position. And Carolyn Del Vecchio, who some of you may know, she has worked with our military 4-H program, is now filling that position. And she will be a welcoming voice on the phone for you when you call there and working with her assignments there. So that's a completion, hiring completion that we've had. I want to remind everyone that we have interviews for the poultry position, and they're coming up Monday and Tuesday. And so there is information out about being able to connect and see the join them in Carville for the seminars. There's 3 candidates over Monday and Tuesday, and you can join them there to see the candidates we have coming in, and also I'm sure they'll be recording those webinars as well, and have a chance to see those and provide input. So a very important position for us, as are all our positions, but encourage you to be involved in this process. This will be a future a colleague, a member of our team, and getting the right people on the bus, as some of our management gurus say, is just really the important thing to do. So hope you'll join in that. We also have begun, named a committee for our agronomy position and entomology position, and they're beginning the work to do to get started in the job descriptions. They will be using the input that we had from the ag team that was developed with input from stakeholders in the development of those job descriptions. The faculty job descriptions are a bit different than we write for our extension agent positions. They're very brief and not as detailed as perhaps we do for the agent positions, but still very critical to get the focus of that correct. So please know that they are getting started, and that will be a little bit longer process as it is, but there's some important upcoming national meetings where we want to be able to advertise those positions. Once we have those position descriptions, I'm sure that the search team will be sharing that with you, and we all play a role in all of these positions to help us recruit. We all have contacts, we all have networks, and as I've said before, people sharing with other people who share with other people, this network and the social media piece that we can do in our search for positions is just really critical. But the best thing is someone asking someone if they're interested, because we shouldn't assume that people may not be interested, and so encourage that. Jenna's asked, are we able to watch those presentations over Zoom live or just watch later? I think the poultry ones we should be able to watch live, but maybe someone from Sussex is on and could confirm that. I know that Emily Ernest is the person to contact and maybe confirm that, and we can learn about that. Marvin Duffy, thank you, Michelle. Marvin Duffy has the links. Michelle, would you be able to get those links, and maybe we could post those here for people who are on First Friday, that they could know what those links are?
Yes, I'll have Marvin taking care of it because I'm going to be in New Orleans when that happens. So I'll get him to put out the 3 links. I'll send them to you, and then Alice can disperse them out.
Okay, I have First Friday. We're about ready to go with that, but I'm sorry, with Directors Weekly. Remember my former communication here. Perhaps if we could have them this morning, we can still drop them in to Directors Weekly, and people will have those in print.
I'll ask Marvin right now to get that going.
So if you could, Michelle, that would be really appreciated. And I love the ability to interact live like this and to get that done. So, oh, Emily says she has the links she'll send. And also, Emily, if you can just post them here, people may have right now could get those, copy those, and paste them into their calendar. So if you have them, just pop them up here in the chat box. That works too. Hey, chat's great. Live is great. So that's where we are in the search processes, and we'll begin our work there. I also will share with you that Joyce Witte has announced her plans to retire at the end of the year, and she's been a long-standing, strong supporter of our state 4-H program, and I've asked Doug Kraus to begin working with that to establish a search committee for that, and then we will begin the process, and hopefully we can have some overlap with that and some training that Joyce could do for others. So we're certainly wishing Joyce well. We're not going to say goodbye because we're hoping that she'll come back and be involved with us in the work of the State 4-H office in another capacity later, but we are excited to celebrate with her too as she joins this part of the journey here. So I think that's the update for our staffing. If you have any questions about that or anything that I've missed, please just put a note in chat or speak out at this point. Ask questions, turn your audio on, and ask a question. That works well. And excuse me. And we can resolve that. Sorry for that static voice. The other thing I want to mention is that we are very excited about our innovation team starting. I have details about this in my Directors Weekly this week. They have met, and I just want to give some clarity. The innovation team is through our eXtension connection and our membership in eXtension, and the innovation team has really been is a replacement for our eXtension Institute team, which I don't know why that name ever came to be, but that's what the name was. And we had a group that was focused on technology. We met fairly infrequently, mainly because I was the one who was trying to provide leadership for that, and it didn't happen as often as it should. But that is the group that helped us to get Ask an Expert up and do some of the other things with that that we did technology-wise. And so well, we are reformulating that under the new eXtension purpose, and it is an innovation team. I have some exciting things to share that I put in Directors Weekly about that, but I wanted to clarify what that is and what they're working on, and it's really around innovation. And we're linking that also to the endowment that our former director, Dr. Jan Seitz, has provided for innovation. And this group will be using an amount of funds, a small amount, about $1,500 this year to get started with the innovation work. But they will be developing criteria and an application process for innovation funds for you, all of our extension staff who can consider applying for that in the following year, in this upcoming year. So more on that later, but innovation a focus of our eXtension work, and I appreciate the good thinking that's being done by that group. And they'll share more as they get started. They've met once. I think they're meeting after First Fridays by technology. And by the way, by innovation, we're not just talking about technology. We're talking about program innovations, we're talking about process innovations, and we are talking about technology, and all of those are important. So you'll see that. I want to say thanks. Emily has posted the webinars and the links and the times here in the chat box. So you can just copy those and cut and paste those into your calendar, and you're good to go and be able to link up for that. Thank you, Emily. We'll try and get those posted as well. I'll try and remember to copy these and put those into Directors Weekly so that they can be out there as well. And finally, Alice, I'm going to need your help on this for some screen sharing. But I talked about in Directors Weekly last week the importance of thinking about your impact reports. And we're doing something a little bit different with impact reports. And this year we're asking you to really spend some time specifically working on one of those, which is ready and has been a program that has been evaluated and is really ready to report some impact. And we're talking about not just a one-time thing in a program, like a one-time workshop, but a program that you've been working on that maybe you've had newspaper articles about, you've had a couple of workshops, you've done, maybe had some fact sheets that have been developed, kinds of things that really make up a program, and that you begin writing that impact report and to share that with your county director by November 30th. And we're going to be working with you on those so that your results of those can be used. And I'd like to share with you now, Alice, if you can put up on the screen, that we've been working with our communication teams, and I want to show you another way we're planning to use those impact stories. I'm really excited about these. These are public documents to help us tell our story. And Michelle Wofford and the communication team has been working with us to do some of these. And so we're doing two things. This is an example of an infographic. This was a story that, an impact story that Gordon Johnson submitted last year as part of our reporting process. We've taken that and now we're using that in creating an infographic. Dravani in the Newcastle County office is becoming our infographic expert, and she's using some new software and helping us to develop some infographics that are about that. And I don't want to focus on the content here. We are going to reduce some of this content of this example a little bit, but this is a one-page leave behind that's built on and developed as a result of your impact stories that you're submitting. And Alice, if you can share the other document now that we are doing as she gets that up. The other one is more of a success story, an impact success story, where we're building on how people have really used the information. And so it's the kind of story we'll be posting on our front page of our web, and it's the kind of story that I share as I meet with people and talk about what is happening. It also includes information from our stakeholders about why this is important to them. So this is another infographic that we have here that we're doing for another FCS program. So here's another example of the infographic. And then Alice, do you have one more that's actually the success story that we want to show that's going on our web? So I know I'm asking you to share a lot of things, but we're looking for the success story write-up. These will be fairly short stories with that impact in them. And while Alice is getting that up, let me just mention I'm going to post in the chat box here as well the information about the online web impact training. We've asked everyone at the beginning of the year of 2016, we asked all our staff to participate in this impact training that's available in modules. There's 6 or 7 modules, and you work through them. They're hands-on kind of modules. It's not a talk. It is not necessarily just talking head, but things for you to interact with. And it does take a bit of time, but you can stop and start them. I think you need maybe an hour and a half to get through all of them. But encouraging you to go through that impact training and before you get started writing your impact stories. So thank you, Alice, for this. You now see in front of you on your screen an example of impact story that takes what you saw in infographics now in a story part. And you should recognize the key parts that are in it. The issue, which we're asking you to write about the issue, and it doesn't have to be long. We're really looking for short paragraphs on this. The response, that response is what extension has done, what was done, very briefly, and then the results. And we are really looking for what has been the knowledge, attitude, skills, aspirations, the CASA. What are the changes or the results? And any personal stories about how people have used the information or how they're applying the information or what differences has made in their life. So be thinking about the work that you're doing that is ready to report at this kind of level. Take the online training, and then it's a one-pager at max that we're really looking for around your issue response results, and sharing that with your county director, who will then be helping us to work these to be brief and to the point of what we're looking for. And we'll get these examples out to you once we get them finalized. Michelle Walford's working with these. We aren't quite in final stage, but we hope to have these out to you. I hope by the end of the month, and you will have a sample to look at as well. So I know there's always lots to do and lots to get done, but we're trying to give you lots of heads up, advance notice of that, and I hope you'll consider that. I just also note that you'll note the colors at the top and the look and feel of this. We're trying to make all our marketing materials have the similar colors and look and feel as we move forward, that you can easily recognize UD set up by that. We're also thankful that that Christy Mannering has worked with issues about their header and how we can list cooperative extension and identifier, and has made a lot of progress in that as well. So in summary, impact data is really important. I will share with you a personal story about this. Recently, I attended the Delaware Bureau of Farm Organizations meeting held at DDA on a evening meeting, a Wednesday evening. We meet quarterly, and I had someone there who made a comment, well, you know, don't really know that we need extensions so much anymore. We work with our consultants, and we work with those hired and paid consultants, and they provide the information. And my response to this individual was, and who trains those consultants? And who provides the information and answers their questions when they have them? And I said, the answer is we do, Cooperative Extension. And so there's stories to be told that we need to tell. Here in Delaware, even though I think we're very well respected, we have to continue to tell our story. This happens to be a year when we know the state budget is going to be challenged. Our state organizations and agencies have already been asked to cut back their budget by 1 to 2%. And so it's a critical time for us to be able to tell our story. So I'm not just asking you to do this because it's something we do every year, but this is something that we really need to pay attention to, and we need to have this information out and in the public eye as decisions are being made about funding at our state level as well as our national level as Farm Bill discussions also begin. So I hope you'll hear me on that, and we'll provide you with some more examples, but for now, get started with that online training and begin thinking about your impact story. So more to come. Michelle Wofford, can you comment? Do you anticipate we'll be able to have those examples maybe by the end of the month, early November, out to folks? Am I on track with that?
Yes, you are. I'm probably more like November.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. Great. All right, now on to the let me give a little background on my topic about urban in Delaware. And the need for this. We actually incorporated into the this small state, but no idea who you are and what we do. And so we'll do our headquarters and we want a national extension, we don't think of extension in terms of best practices, and you're going to be saying that I can't bring it down, so we will have a lot of that noise. But I think I might just have to so I'm really happy to be really interested in these stories and you want to I mean, for 4 weeks, we will hear probably the doctor house for I'm going to see that I'm going to research it on the internet. Sorry, I'm really excellent. I'm heading over there about their first language, just words, and how it's and areas. When you're going to do care and measure what it's how we from their view, we want to be an active and also be policy. I'm going to be going to do something to do something like that. So we're going to do active and research and help get some work for you. I'm going to be an information. I'm first one to be in this idea. I'm just something else. Girl, I think you know how it is. But I'm going to be sure to work and all these things. Like for any sort of multiple things, I'm going to be for your state office. I'm going to work like that. And I'm going to do and I'm going to do first year.